So she stood there at the foot of the cross and she watched her dream die. I mean, you can't get any more final than that. He died. They took him down. They said, yeah, he's dead. They took him off and they put him in a tomb. They buried him. That must have been the saddest day of Mary's life. None of the others had a visitation from an angel. None of the others had a promise from God like she did. But she had a promise directly from God. He's going to be a king. He's going to sit on the throne of his father David. He's going to be great. And of his kingdom there will be no end. And she's going, I don't believe what I'm seeing. I don't believe what I heard. I don't know what happened. What went wrong? And don't you sit there this year and believe that because of what you've done or because of what's been done to you, that you'll never be what God promised you would be. Don't you think that for 1 second. God uses damaged goods. He uses broken vessels. He uses anything he can get his hands on. So don't believe the lies that somehow now, because nothing happened for so long, that now you're disqualified. That while you weren't looking, someone in heaven said, no, they're off the list. Nobody did that. You're still on the list. Yeah, but it looks worse now than it did when I was younger. That's how things go. You've had time to make some real mistakes since then. You know, I got saved at 7. So all of my biggest mistakes were made as a Christian. That's not something to be proud of. It still doesn't disqualify you. I'm still in. You're still in. Don't believe the lie that somehow you're out now. You know, I quit smoking at 6. I did. I found a cigarette in the driveway when I was in kindergarten and I lit it up. I took about 2 puffs and I thought I was going to die. Cigarettes lost their hold on my life at that moment. I choked until I couldn't breathe and I kicked the habit. So I never made that mistake again, but I found new ones. How many of you found lots of ways to do it wrong? And you sit there, I know how it is. You sit there and you go, if I had my life to live over again, I'd do it so different. Who wouldn't? That's the stupidest thing I ever heard. Of course you'd do it different because you know some things now and you started out totally ignorant. Well, guess what? You don't get to live it over again. This is it. This is one shot and you're halfway through. So you better get with the program. You're not going back. Am I right? If I could just live my life over again, I'd do it so different. Yeah, you know what? If you had another life to live, you'd find new ways to mess up that one. That's why God's not going to give you another one. He said, no, one is plenty to prove that you can't do this by yourself. Am I right? One of the things we're proving in our long human life is that we need a Savior. Jesus said, I knew that. I just wanted you to know. You could do it 100 times and you'd get it wrong every single time without Jesus. We've got to have a Savior. So he said, once is enough. I'll come in, I'll make up the difference, and we'll go into eternity like nothing wrong ever happened. Only God can do that. But what he's asking for us right now is to believe. Keep believing. Don't stop believing. Embrace those promises. Run like the person with the ball. Because if you had a promise from God, you have the ball. Stop resenting the fact that it hasn't happened yet. You're blessed. You're following in the footsteps of people like Abraham and Moses and Mary and, bless his heart, Noah. You think you got it bad. God told Noah, build an ark. I'm going to judge the world with rain. Preach that, by the way. It's going to rain. And they go, what's rain? It's like water from the sky. You've lost your mind. That's not how it works. For 100 years, he built a boat and preached rain to people. He didn't have one convert. For 100 years. And you think you got it rough? Man, I thank God for my life.
Greg Fritz Ministries wants to give you a free booklet entitled Jesus Our Substitute that accompanies this television series as our gift to you. To receive your free printed copy of our new booklet, call us at 918-878-8000.